Alright, g'day everybody. So today I'm going to be going over my 5 favourite vegetables that are so easy to grow that if I can do it, anybody can. Okay, so here are the shallots. They're in the same family as onions and they're used in much the same way. We have some red shallots and gold shallots here, and while they are a bit smaller than regular onions, there is a larger variety called banana shallots or French eschalots. However, they are a lot more nutritionally dense compared to regular onions by weight. And unlike regular onions, which need to be started from seed every year, all you need to do to grow these is to take the nicest ones and just push them a third or a half of the way into the soil and watch them grow. So here I plant them out in late autumn, and over the next 6 months or so each one will slowly divide and multiply. So one shallot might turn into 3, or it might turn into 6, or it might turn into a dozen or more, just sort of depending on how lucky you are and how well you've prepared the soil. So you can harvest the greens to use as green onions at any time, and you can also pull the bulbs up whenever you need them. But if you leave them until the greens start to die off at the start of summer, you can dry them and store them and just replant some of the nicer ones out next year. Okay, so another one from the allium family. I'm sure you're all familiar with garlic. Obviously it adds a lot of flavors to food. Personally, I wouldn't have made it through my month-long challenge in May without a heap of garlic to put in every meal. So depending on where you live, you'll either want to be growing soft neck or hard neck variety, and there's lots of different varieties to choose from either way. So here I grow soft neck varieties because of the warmer climate, since hard neck varieties seem to do better in colder areas. I would like to try some hard neck types though, as they produce an edible flower stalk called garlic scapes that these soft neck varieties don't. So very similar to shallots in terms of growing them. All you do is separate a head of garlic out into individual cloves and plant out the largest ones. Just cover them over and water them in, let them do their thing. They really don't require a lot of maintenance. They do take a little while, but beyond preparing the beds and planting them, that's really all the work that's involved. And once again, you can just harvest them, dry them, cure them for storage, and just save the nicest ones to plant out next year. Okay, so you probably know of leeks. They're started from seed, but this is a variety of leeks that actually starts from a single plant and multiplies, forming a large cluster around each one that's planted. So that takes, I'd say, around 6 months. I haven't been growing these for long, but I've already planted out more than 20 here from the 2 that I started with. So after the individuals put on sprouts, you can just dig them up, eat the largest ones, and replant out the smallest ones, or even eat the smallest ones. So it's probable that they won't get as large as a store-bought leek. I have yet to grow a leek that's gotten as large as a store-bought leek though, but they are very plentiful, and they're just too easy to grow once you've planted them. I think, they're always going to be there. And they still taste just as good as any other leek. Alright, so sweet potatoes are very popular. They taste good, they're good for you. They can be cooked in a lot of different ways, either savory or sweet, but they can be expensive to buy in stores. Luckily, it is easy to grow your own. So with that said, it does take a long time to grow. They do need a long, warm growing season. as they won't survive freezing temperatures or hard frosts or anything like that. So there may be some places in the world where you will not be able to get away with it, unfortunately. But if you're lucky enough to live somewhere where they can be grown, they can easily be started by burying a sweet potato in some soil or placing it into a glass of water until it produces shoots. You can then just pull those shoots off, root them in a glass of water and plant them out. You can also get different varieties from nurseries, or you can start more plants from cuttings just by removing part of the stem and placing it in some water like I have here, and that allows you to get a lot more plants very quickly. So they do take about 4.5 to 6 months depending on the weather, the conditions, the soil that you planted them in. But after they've been planted, they really don't require much attention until harvesting, and you can also eat the leaves cooked like you would spinach. Okay, so if you've been watching my channel for a while, you might not be surprised to see I put potatoes at number 1. Potatoes are a great staple food to get into if you want to be a bit more self-sufficient. As you know, they're very versatile in cooking. They add a lot of extra carbs to pretty much any meal. Or, you know, you can use them as a meal in themselves. They go with pretty much any other flavors. So it's also really satisfying to harvest homegrown potatoes for some reason. So there's lots of ways to grow them, either in pots, in ground, or even this roost out style no dig setup. But anyway you go, they really are as easy as just planting a sprouted seed potato, just like that one, and covering it up and walking away and letting them grow. Now obviously I think this roost out setup is the easiest, just in terms of not having to water, ease of harvest. You don't have to dig very far down to find them. But if you can only grow in containers, then do that, whatever works for you. They are still very easy either way. So when I harvest my potatoes, I like to try and save one from each plant to use later on as a seed potato. You can also cut the larger ones in half if they have multiple eyes on them. Just let the halves dry for a little while and then plant them out, turning one potato into 2 plants pretty much. Okay, so while all of these vegetables are easy to grow in my opinion, any plant can be attacked by disease or pests, so make sure to keep an eye on them while you're growing them. And thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, give us a thumbs up and hit subscribe if you want to see more gardening content. Let me know in the comments what your favorite easy to grow vegetable is, and I'll catch you in the next one.